Hello again. Today I'm going to talk back about the medicine or the lifestyle. I've done several videos on Mahabharata and I would like to continue to do that, but probably in the near future. Changing the gears, today I'm going to talk about blue zones. A lot of people might have heard about the blue zones, and people know that there are several areas where people live longer, live healthier, and are mobile and mentally fit. There are areas where people live for 100 years. And so people have tried to find out what is so unusual about these blue zones compared to the areas where people don't live that long, are all not healthier. One of the areas in America is Loma Linda in California, is blue zone. Some areas in Japan are also well known. Recently came across an article which is talking about blue zone, the name which was coined by a person who was giving testimony in the Senate about a healthier lifestyle. So what are the characteristics of blue zone people? And it is very interesting because we talk about diet and exercise and stress. And it's really true. There is nothing different. But it is somewhat different and a little bit convoluted. Blue zone people have a physical activity, but it is not because they go to the gym or jump on a treadmill or take part in a bicycle race, but actually do walk. For example, they will walk to a post office, walk to a church, walk to a friend, walk in the neighborhood, and they accumulate 8,900 steps per day. But this is not doing as an exercise. So I don't know if there is any difference between doing the exercise for the purpose of doing exercise versus doing it because you have to do it to go to somebody's house or because you're going for shopping and you don't take your car. In the past, I've done a video on showing that all physical activity is not same. Showing that people who work in a labor-related jobs, construction, carpentry, even though they are active physically and that physical activity should ideally be helpful for their longevity, they don't. So there must be something that a physical activity done for different reason has different effects. It is an interesting thing, and maybe the alcohol, drugs, smoking, stress, low socioeconomic class, which sometimes or many times is associated with labor-related activities, contributes to the longevity. I don't know, but certainly it is worthwhile looking at it. So the people who live in blue zone do walk, but walk not for exercise, but for meeting friends, going to the church, and going to the shopping, etc. Again, they do accumulate 8,000 to 900 steps per day. The second thing is the diet. Many of these people had a legumes and plants-based diet, and probably more common beans in their diet almost daily. The red meat was extremely low, and poultry and fish were the other alternatives or not plant-based diet. The diets are rich in fruits and vegetables and legumes and nuts. So again, we come back to something which is similar to the Mediterranean diet, or also something similar to, we know that including several servings of fruits and vegetables lowers your cholesterol, lowers your blood pressure, lowers your body mass index, fat and weight, and maybe that's contributing to the longevity. The third thing is that they have a less stress. They don't use cell phones and iPads and computers and communicate with your friends and relatives or are on social contact. But basically they have direct face-to-face relations. They talk to their neighbors, they go to the church, they go to the temple, and not only that, but they also have a family which is more than husband, wife, and couple of kids. So they have uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, as a good family unit. And maybe that reduces the stress. Because if somebody is sick in a 2 or 3 adult family, it becomes extremely stressful. But if you have people to take care of somebody, then it does not add to the stress. That could be the contributing factor. So larger family, helpful members, direct face-to-face contact was also high in the blue zone people. They had a purpose. That's the last one, or maybe more, but they had a purpose in life. It is well known that people who go to church or temple live at least 4 years longer than those who don't go it. I'm not saying that atheists live less and the people who believe in God, no matter if they're drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, still live longer. No. I'm just saying that when you go to temple and meet people and you have a purpose, you pray God, concentrate, meditate, you certainly tend to live longer. The purpose in life could be any number of things, from believing in God, expecting birthday of a grandchild, or celebrating somebody's anniversary, or taking some tours because of, or celebrating some occasions with a group of friends, relatives. So there is a purpose. A lot of times in US, what happens is people go to nursing homes, assisted living, or extended care facilities, and the relatives come to visit them once a week or once a month. They're neglected because they're not friends with their next room mate, because they have not known them. Their mobility gets reduced, and this certainly could contribute to reduced longevity. It is interesting to note that people who live in blue zone not only live longer, but they live healthier. So whether it is the stress which is released because there is a direct face-to-face contact, or they have a purpose in life, either way, it is there. It reminds me of a study which was done many, many years ago in a group of nursing home residents. They had retrofitted everything, from clothes to the talk to the pants, shirts, costumes, radio, newspaper were 20 or 30 year older. The music, if you start a radio station, would show only those 20 or 30-year-old songs. TV is also the same thing. So basically people who were, say, 65 or 70-year-old certainly were living as if they were 50 or 55-year-old. The cognitive function in these people before and after they were put in this 20 plus years retro improved substantially. Why would that happen? Cognitive function is a function of a brain. Just thinking that you are living in an era when you were 50 years old versus now you are 70 or 75 years old changed the outlook. Not only it changed the outlook, but it also created something where people had more interest or their cognitive abilities improved. So a lot of times a positive environment, and certainly most of us when we were younger, we were healthier hopefully, and we had more friends and more activities. And if we can go back to that era, theoretically, it changes our attitude and probably releases certain chemicals or hormones that makes us better in our memory, our cognitive function, our attitude, and of course it will help the longevity. So a positive attitude that we had when we were 40 years old, and we have negative attitude because of various medical diagnosis or thinking that life is about to end, certainly brings down the age and we kind of suffer. So Blue Zone has something that we all can do in our present environment, including where we live. We could have direct contact with our friends and relatives, start going to the temple, church, school, on feet if possible, shopping, having a better diet, and having a purpose in life would help us. I hope this helped all of us and you. If you like my video, please subscribe, Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.